Okay, so after that bloody mess, the next match was Takeshita versus Kenny Omega for the International Championship. Everybody went for Omega except for me. I was a contrarian just because I don't know. But anyway,
And of course, Mr. Phallus was there in the commentary booth watching over Takeshita.
and that's another reason why I figured Omega might end up losing, right? Some kind of shenanigan.
Mm-hmm.
Because I know that Callis is going to be there. Like maybe while the rough isn't looking, he wins by nefarious means, and
Yep.
then now increase that feud where Kenny wants a rematch later on down the road or something.
Yeah.
Since Kenny just technically got back.
Or throwing like Brian Cage and Archer in there to cheat or something.
Yeah, that's what I was. That's where I figured they would go with this, but obviously they didn't, and Kenny Omega won. Let's see, when Kenny was up against the announcement table, oh my God, once they started punching on him, Don Callis started punching on him.
And he started making complaints about how his fists were hurt and how Kenny's dangerous, even though he's the one doing the punching and all that.
Now, what I thought this is the only thing I found funny about that. Tony Schiavone made a smart ass remark. They would say, well, that's why you just sit down or something like that. Or,
Yeah,
you
yeah.
know.
Like, well, leave the wrestling to the wrestlers.
Yeah, it's okay. That was actually kind of funny. It sounded he don't feel like being there, kind of complaining.
Yeah.
Right. And then we also have that Kenny jumped on the apron of the barricade, but Takeshita shoved him into the audience guardrail.
Yeah.
Like, ooh.
And he landed right there too in the stomach, where,
Let's see. We also have that. Let's see what else we have. He jumped off the apron. Yada yada yada. Let's see. Okay, Callis grabbed Kenny's leg to stop him from doing the V trigger, but Takeshita clotheslined him off the apron and onto the floor. And then Tony asked if Callis was okay. And, oh yeah, that's right. Then he said to sit back down and you know what you said, let the wrestlers wrestle or whatever.
yeah.
Now we also have the part where Takeshita spiked Kenny on the okay they pulled out a table outside of the ring and he kind of turned it upside down. So Takeshita tried to he spiked Kenny on the upside down table.
Yeah.
But then they turned it on the side and then Takeshita slammed Kenny on his stomach, like on his abdomen onto like the side of it.
Yeah. Which of course is bad. There's the whole thing about having what, like 10 foot of intestines taken out or whatever.
Yeah. And then Takeshi did a pile driver. He refused to let go and he slammed him again, but then Kenny kicked out of it somehow.
Yeah, I literally thought that was the end at that part.
And then Kenny took two knees to the face and he still kicked out. And then whatever happened, he won the match. So anyway,
Yeah, I think we kind of zoned out, or I was so excited that he still won that I forgot to put down what was like the finishing move.
I don't even remember.
I know he hit him with the V trigger a couple of times at the end, but I don't know if he was able to do the one wing angel or not. Maybe, but Omega won, and Callis was of course super pissed and everything. But now Kenny Omega is the official new international championship, the champion, and Takeshita lost the title, and of course Callis is fuming.
And another reason I could see Kenny winning because one, he did have all that surgery and stuff, and real life issues. So like Daniel Bryan, I mean, whatever he's Bryan Danielson, whatever. Like with him, we don't see him anymore because of all of his situations. So that's why I kind of figured maybe they're going with that with Kenny. He really just should stay back, really. What did you think, Johnny, of this match?
I really didn't remember too much about the match. It's just more like I guess like the shock, like I guess we get to see Kenny Omega again, and you know, so able to wrestle well. He looks like he was so in good shape and everything. Um, but that's about it. I really don't remember too much about the match. I think I was also kind of zoning out a little bit as well.
13 matches, man.
I'm gonna have to say, my problem with some of these matches, I guess I'll say more when we wrap up at the end. Some of my issues with some of these matches, but let's go to the next one, which I'm pretty sure some are really looking forward to. Whatever. Oh, thank you. Um, it's the Will Ospreay versus what was it, Kyle Fletcher match. They were doing a cage match. Oh yeah. Anyway, Will Ospreay won this match. Yay! Everyone went for Will except for Johnny and Panda again.
Hmm.
So
Very like-minded individuals.
So this match was, in my opinion, overly bloody, a lot of unnecessary spots. Just, I did not like it.
I gotta say though, like wow, just at the beginning of the match, it's just Fletcher climbing at the very top of the cage, just standing there to pose or whatever, and then Kenny Omega go no, Ospreay goes on his side and everything. It was just interesting seeing them both like that, like on the top of the cage and all that. I was like, damn, how the fuck you gonna get down? So, anyways, here's a lot of stuff. Oh wow, a lot of notes. So I'm gonna kind of go through them real quick. You can give your little reactions here and there. So Fletcher threw Ospreay face first into the steel cage and already busted him open, and that was pretty early in the match. Fletcher, oh god.
He started licking the.
Well, hold on. Fletcher rubs Ospreay's face into the cage to make the wound even worse, and then he starts
licking the blood off the cage, and that just started. That kind of started tuning me out right there. It just,
yeah.
I don't like. I hate stuff like
AEW
that.
or everyone's a vampire. So let's see here. Ospreay hits Fletcher's face into the metal corner of the cage a couple of times until he drops like a broken toy. Ospreay leaps off the ropes onto him until Fletcher. He jumps off the ropes and lands on it like a splash, but Fletcher still kicks out. Matt Davis shows up with a box full of tools, and he has some bolt cutters he uses to like cut the lock to get into the cage. And Matt brings he brings a steel chair into the ring, and again it's a steel cage match, those qualifications, blah 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 blah. Almost every AW match has those qualifications. Anyways, Ospreay kicks the cage door into Matt Davis's face to get him the fuck out of there. And Ospreay grabs a barbed wire bat from the from the bag, and swings it into Fletcher's abdomen and back, and then rakes him across the face with it. That sounds fun. Fletcher begs for mercy and pulls out the little friendship armband that they had before. I guess before falling out, stuff, trying to
He's like,
appeal to better.
Speak brothers.
Yeah, but it's going to be like a trick. But Ospreay doesn't fall for it though. But either way, Fletcher still hits him with a low blow before he can use the bat. So
and later on, he used that armband and stuffed it in. Oh
yeah, that was the next part. Fletcher shoves the armband into Ospreay's mouth. Ospreay slams Fletcher down, goes for the pin. Matt Davis comes in again and breaks the pin and starts choking him out. Fletcher throws a chair at Matt, and then it hits him with the hidden blade with the chair. So basically, he's holding the chair and does the hidden blade. Chair smacks you in the face with that move. Let's see here. Then he finally kicks Matt out of the cage. Aubrey and the referees come to like close the cage down so that Matt can just stay the fuck out of this match already. Ospreay wraps barbed wire around his elbow, which I never seen actually used though. He was trying to do something with it, the hidden blade, I guess.
Yeah, he was.
Fletcher tries to escape. He climbs the cage, and when Ospreay climbs after him, because hey, you ain't getting away. At the top of the cage, I guess they conveniently had a screwdriver up there, because of course Don Fallis with his damn screwdriver thing. And he hits Ospreay to hell with the screwdriver. Fletcher does a brain buster on the steel cage. Fletcher pulls out a bag of thumbtacks because, of course, we needed that, and put them all over the floor. And this is like, oh god. So, what can I say? Ospreay actually grabs Fletcher. Was it? I think it was Ospreay to Fletcher, and does the Styles Clash on the thumbtacks. And yes, and people get like backward slammed or whatever on the thumbtacks. So it's on the back. But this is like face down onto the thumbtacks. Holy shit.
Yeah.
So they also go to the top of the cage to get away, whatever, do more things. Ospreay grabs Fletcher and does a Spanish fly off the top of the cage all the way down. I don't know if Mick Foley would be proud of that or not. And Ospreay finally hits him with the hidden blade and then grabs him with the Tiger Driver 91 and wins the match. And let's see if that ends that. And actually, I was actually surprised that Ospreay won because I didn't think that Don Callis' guys were going to lose like the matches, 2 matches back to back and everything. But yeah, it happened. Omega won his match. Ospreay won his match.
Yep.
That's pretty impressive. So let's get Johnny's thoughts first, and you can go over
Yeah,
your
go
thoughts.
ahead.
Okay, so personally, I'm with you, Wendy, as well. I didn't really like this match. Normally, I like the Will Ospreay and Kyle Fletcher type matches, but this one in particular, I mean, the match is not bad. Like the concept of the match is not bad itself. Like the whole steel cage thing, it's just the amount of blood, the amount of unnecessary like just blood. Like it's just way too much blood, and it's just I don't know, all that blood kind of. It's just really off-putting after a while. Like it's just way too much. Like they're already getting beat up. They're already super injured. They're already bloodied up, and then they're doing more shit to get more blood out of them. And then I don't know. It's just like overkill. Like we already have the women's match with a lot of blood. We did not need Will Ospreay and Kyle Fletcher covered in blood as well. So yeah, I don't know. I just felt like the match went too long. It was just too bloody and very risky because they're not climbing super up on the steel cage, and it just looks like damn. What if they just fall down like it's crazy.
All I have to say is that the way AEW is, if these particular people were still alive, and I'm sure one of them is still alive, they're probably super old, but if they were younger and in their prime, I'm sure AEW would have had a match. It would have been New Jack versus Abdullah the Butcher. Probably with Moxley there for a triple threat or something, because this is way too much blood with these guys.
AEW sometimes worries me on how risky they go with these matches because I'm afraid that if they're not too careful, which a lot of wrestlers have gotten really badly injured, but if they really mess up, like these wrestlers can really get messed up for life, like terribly like injured in a way where they can never wrestle ever again. Like I don't know. Some of the things they do is just like what are they thinking?
Yeah, because one thing also, that's another reason why we want, if next time we have Jack or William on here or both, whatever, or maybe I'll just ask in general. I'm just wondering in WWE, not counting, I'm assuming the only exception would have been like Gangrel and the Brood and stuff. But other than that, I have to know if they ever did so much like blood licking and blood tasting and stuff. If we've had too much of that with Moxley, with Hangman Page and Swerve, and now with Fletcher, it's just too much, man. These guys are vampires, man. Oh, maybe that's why they can take all those hits because they're vampires. Those hits don't. They're already undead, Wendy. That's why they survive all that shit.
I just no. Yeah, about this match, I was too focused on like it was just too gross to even take much of it in. I just don't like it. I mean, I'm just thinking of all the diseases you can get. I mean, oh, it was just so unnecessary. It's just terribly unnecessary.
For me, I still like the match. Not the bloody parts, but I just like the intensity. This was
Yeah, it was
obviously,
a good match overall, it's just blood.
I guess, literally speaking, we can call this a blood feud between Fletcher and Ospreay. But yeah, you just have the intensity, the hatred. I think even near the end of the match, when Fletcher was down and Ospreay was going to beat him, he was like, "I hate you, I hate you, I like my God," I mean.
It's like I feel like AEW wants to be, I don't know, bloodied up. They want to be very like
Like a
I
guy
don't
trying to
know,
be ECW.
yeah,
This is
they want to push against the envelope, but it's just like damn, like
Yeah,
they're
almost
over
been torn up by.
they're
this just
overdoing it.
felt. I
It's
see.
just gross.
See, this is why I could not do ECW because of stuff like this. Because think ECW was ever that bad.
Mm.
Not to this extent. I don't remember. I mean, well, I've never seen enough of ECW, so if anyone knows about it, and like you were saying, maybe Jack or William would know. Like, even in ECW, did we have people drinking people's blood or licking people's blood? We already had that Swerve and Page match that still grossed me out. I mean, ew.
Yeah, so I think like AEW, they want to be like they want to be try hard with all that kind of stuff, but it's just like I don't know. I think Jack Knives probably would have a big rant about this because I'm pretty sure he have watched other wrestling, promotions and maybe they have similar matches to this degree, but maybe they do it in a way that is still not as I don't know bad
Ridiculous.
AEW. Yeah, like AEW go overboard with it. And it
Mhm.
also because AEW is kind of like, like it's not really that great of a wrestling promotion. Like for them to try to be all like badass, like we're gonna try to, be, bring all these shock values. Like it's not. It's like AEW's not okay. It's not. It's not to that level, and they want to act like I don't know, like they're badass to do that kind of shit. Like no, not really.
Mm. Well, everyone, that's that match. Like I said, I didn't like it. There ain't nothing about it that was redeemable or worthy of watching, even remembering it for me. Like I said, I pretty much started to tune it out after pretty much that first big spot. Aside from the fact that it took too long for the match to start with Will Ospreay's intro.
Mhm.
I was like, Fletcher just still standing on the cage. Said, "Get your butt into that ring already, Jesus! We got stuff to do." Playing
Yeah.
this nonsense on a Sunday. Anyway, the final match of the card, our main event, everybody, the match of the century, the match that nobody cared about or even wanted to see. John Moxley versus Adam Copeland, and I still call him Edge because I refuse to call him Cope.
Yes. But one thing we do want to go into real quick before the match started, which was the only thing that got me interested about this match, is that we've seen, and this one, of course, because you don't watch Dynamite all the time, Johnny, but we've seen that every time you go against Moxley, you always have all the people there. You always got Pac, you always got Claudio, you always got Yuta
And
and
Marina.
Marina, always cheating, always cheating, always cheating. So what happened is that in the last couple of weeks, we had a couple of matches where Cope and Jay White did the concerto on both Claudio
Marina.
and Marina
And
to
Pop.
take them. That was another one though. I think.
Oh.
Yeah. Oh, that's good. Yeah. There was some match with Pac involved, and they injured Pac, so Pac was out. And then in another match, they did a concerto to both Claudio and Marina, and it was kind of epic because it's kind of, Marina's the woman. It's like, is Edge gonna actually do that to a woman? But then Willow comes in, so Willow does it. Willow bashes her with the
Willow's
chair.
kind of annoyed because every time she tried to do an interview backstage
Renee.
with Renee, Marina would just come in there and interrupt and just get in the way and
Attack her.
attack her. And then that was her revenge or whatever.
Yeah. So the whole thing is, as the weeks went on, Cope was taking out all the members of the what do you call it, the Death Riders, so that now in this match it's forced to be just Moxley and Cope without all the other people.
With the exception of Yuta, because Yuta did go up against Edge, Cope, whatever. He went up against Edge the week before, and Yuta he beat him in that match, but Yuta wasn't really taken out, so Yuta was the wild card for this. If you're wondering, because Weston kind of extended a hand to him. He was pretty much saying, "This is what respect looks like." Like that. And we were wondering, oh, does that mean Yuta's finally going to turn on Moxley and all that other stuff? Whatever.
We'll get to when we get there, though.
The winner of the match, though, was
Still
Moxley. And DJF was the only one who thought Moxley was going to win this match. Now, my prediction for this match was that because it's AEW and and the booking is all over the place anyway. So my prediction was that Copeland Edge was going to beat Moxley, and then Christian was gonna come out, cash in, and take out Edge and get the championship that way, just so you can have an excuse to have Edge versus Christian again.
Yeah. So let's go into some of the notes here. So first off, when the show starts and everything, we still see that the ops, which is what's his name?
Shibata, Samoa Joe, and Hook.
Thank you. Are still watching the match in there. They're all watching. So okay. So we got
They purchased a ticket and they want to watch the show.
Yeah. So Moxley throws Copeland to the steel steps. Moxley tears the padding off the floor, which exposes, the cold, hard, unforgiving floor outside the ring, Cope back tosses Moxley onto that cold, hard floor. Moxley kicks Cope to prevent a spear, and he curb stomps Cope into the floor. So that floor is getting a lot of love. Basically, Max gets Cope into a chokehold, and it looks like Cope is fading out. But then, of course, Cope does the whole powering out still, and he manages to grab the ropes. That was a real close one. He was real far from the ropes, so he did manage to get there at the last moment to keep the fight going. Mox gets a chair, and while the referee takes the chair away, Cope tries to go for a pin, and when like a roll-up pin, but when Moxie shoves him off, Cope accidentally knocks the ref out. He falls out of the ring, exposes to the floor.
He went out. I'm sorry. That was like comedically. He got comedically knocked out of the ring.
Oh, Shawn Michaels style.
Uh-huh.
Yeah. So now that the referee is knocked out, because this is supposed to be a regular match, now he can cheat and everything. So he brings some chairs in. He wants to do a concerto on Cope because it's kind of like what he did to his friends. He's going to do it to them now. But then Yuta, which we pointed out, Yuta was the only one that was not actually taken out, comes in and hits Cope with the Busaiko knee. And then Yuta brings a damn suitcase. But before he can hit with the suitcase, Jay White comes in to grab the suitcase away from Yuta. And they both start wrestling over it. Jay is supposed to hit the suitcase on I guess either Moxley or Yuta or something, but he got out of the way, and Jay accidentally hits Cope with it. And Yuta and Jay start fighting outside the ring. They kind of leave or whatever, but the damage is done. So the referee crawls in, but he's all, he's still woozy. So it's a very slow 1, 2, and Cope still kicks out the very last minute. Moxley starts arguing with the referee. Cope hits him with the spear. Somehow Moxley still kicks out. So Cope spears him, goes for the pin, and then Christian comes in and grabs him by the legs and pulls him out of the ring. He signs a contract real quick. So now the contract's an official 3-way match. And basically, since Cope is out of it, Moxley's out of it, his plan is to spear Cope and get the pin, but Cope still kicks out. And when Christian's about to pin Cope, Moxley grabs him and chokes him out. So Moxley chokes Christian, which still counts because now the 3-way match. Christian passes out, and Mox is still the champion.
The thing that's funny about that, on the past Dynamite, Christian was making excuses for the loss. He was saying see, I didn't know it was going to be a 3-way match. I was just trying to, get the championship by pinning Cope, pinning Cope. And then Nick Wayne pointed out that stop lying to us or whatever.
Stop making excuses.
Yeah, stop making excuses. You lost. What's the name? Wasn't the champion. Moxley was. So,
Yeah.
You should be going after him, but if it's a 3-way, anyone that gets pinned is the automatic winner, right?
Yeah. So Christian gets into Nick Wayne's face, and it's all, hey, don't you forget, man. Don't you talk to me like that again, and all that kind of stuff.
And his mother tried to get in the way too. So he had the nerve to say to her, "You don't go back and work those midnight shifts at the Waffle House." It's like, gee.
Yeah, so now there's going to be some inner drama within the patriarchy with Christian. So that's something to see, next whatever. But anyways, so 2 things about this match. The first thing was that Yuta just whatever, because the last match, like we said, when Christian fought against Yuta, he saw this is what respect looks like and all that. Moxley kept shoving him and acting like we treat him like crap.
He even followed him backstage and all that
Yeah.
nonsense.
So we were thinking that this would have been the time that would have helped Yuta kind of like, wake up that he's being used and he should be treated better and all that shit. But no, he still cheated. He still helped Moxley. He still attacked Cope, whatever. So whatever. And the other thing I wanted to say is that at first, a lot of us were pissed off. We're like, oh, motherfucker, because Moxley won yet again. But then we remember that Swerve won that match was like the first top contender to go
Yeah,
against the champion.
after they mentioned that, that's when I was saying, oh, that's why, because nobody want to see Swerve versus Edge.
Yeah, Swerve versus Edge or Swerve versus Christian is
It
better
wouldn't
to
make
see.
sense.
Better to see Swerve versus Moxley. You know what I mean? And that's where the match ends.
It makes sense for it to be those two.
Yeah, and to end the show, Moxley leaves with the belt, or I guess the suitcase or whatever, because the belt's sequestered, I guess. And Nana's in there, and he's like, hey, And then what's his face? Swerve shows up. So now you know that coming up, we're gonna have some Swerve versus Moxley with Nana dancing in the back.
Yeah, Swerve jumped off the thing. He was like above him where the ramp, whatever. Yeah. He jumped and landed on Moxley, and then Nana just.
Yep.
He got his robe back, and he wasn't gonna get back in that world title scene.
Yep, there we go. So
he wants to reclaim that title he lost all that time ago.
But I didn't say though, it was an interesting match. It was better than the other matches because it wasn't bloody and violent, and I also wanted to see like how it would go down, like 1-on-1 without the whole rest of the fuckers getting involved like they always do. I'm just saying Shafir and all that. So. Another thing I want to say is the only match that I didn't care about was the Okada one and all those, but I still like the Hurt Syndicate and all that. But this pay-per-view actually kept me awake longer, and I was more interested during to the very end. So that was pretty cool.
You were just more engaged.
Yeah. So what were your thoughts on the Moxley versus Cope match, Johnny?
I didn't care about the match.
Oh, but what about the shenanigans? What about
the shenanigans?
I
like the shenanigans. Yeah, I like the shenanigans better than the actual match. That's how bad it was. I just don't care about Jon Moxley.
I know that I believe that Edge or Adam in general said he always wanted to work with Moxley. Do matches with him. I guess that's fine, but.
I wonder because due to his like status and all that stuff, maybe it's like talking between Moxley and Tony Khan said, okay, I want to have a match with Moxley, but I ain't doing all that blood shit though. I ain't doing no barbed wire and broken glass. So I want to match with him, but let's keep it,
I mean, he might like to brush his teeth with glass, but I don't, all that stuff. But yeah, that's what I think. I mean, I think it's interesting that he's always wanted to work with, as far as I know, but. I still wasn't that invested in the match. I was more curious about the outcome as opposed to the match itself to see how it would play out. Like you said, all the Death Riders are. That's right. That's what they call it, right?
Yeah, Death Riders.
The Death Riders are gone, and Yuta was the wild card. Yuta's still useless, so he's still pointless and useless. Just need to go jump off a cliff and land in the lake with and get a haircut. Jump in the lake with the Young Bucks and Gal and whoever else I've thrown down there. But yeah, that was the end of that. But at least part of my prediction did come true. Christian did get involved somehow because that was that's what I was predicting. It just didn't turn out the way that it just didn't fully turn out that way. So now tallying up the points, let's see here.
Well, before we go in there? What was your thoughts on the I guess the overall pay-per-view?
The overall pay-per-view, yeah.
Okay, overall the pay-per-view, I still liked it. I mean, it was so very entertaining. It's just some of the matches are kind of like, I think they could have either been on the 0 hour or it could have been just like a regular collision match, maybe like. Mercedes Moné, like it's just like a waste of space because you already know that with her stupid contract, she's forced to win all these matches. Like it's just so boring at this point. It's so predictable. But yeah, a lot of the matches were still very intense. It's just that personally, I'm not a big fan of all the blood. Like it's just way too bloody. It's like it's overkill, and not just the blood, but the type of risks they take. Like some of these matches, sometimes I'm like, oh, okay, these guys are still gonna make it out alive, right? They're not gonna collapse somewhere, right? They're not gonna fall out of the ring. They're not gonna like I don't know, not survive the match. Like I don't know, it gets a little overboard after a while. Like they I think AEW wants to try so hard to be I don't know, like pushing the envelope, but it's like it just gets old after a while. And AEW is not this hyper wrestling. AEW is not the type of wrestling promotion to do that to begin with, in my opinion.
My overall thoughts about this pay-per-view, like, well, like I said, I have to agree. But here's something I was gonna say earlier. Say I just wait till the end. I felt that some of these matches went on for far too long. I hate the false finishes to the point of ridiculousness. I mean, I'm sorry. A couple of close calls I can see. Not when you do like a whole bunch of crap that you shouldn't be kicking out of, and then you get like, oh, a spear, 1, 2, 3. I mean, come on now. You got beat in the head with you got power drive on your head on metal steps, but you can kick out of that. But someone use a spear or some simple move.
Mhm.
Ding ding ding.
Oh, it's like Street Fighter when like you have the very little bit health, you do a little jab to the leg, ooh, or you're like flying 3 feet in the air.
Yes.
And that's what I like the newer games make it more realistic though. If you do that, they just like crumble to the ground. They don't do the flying off whatever, so that's just yeah. But yeah, it's like
It's so much. That is one thing I can't stand about AEW. But the thing is, I don't know if WWE does that. They ever did. Not like that.
probably, I don't know. So you get a finisher, get up. Another finisher, you kick out. You get hit by a cinder block, you kick out. You get hit, run over by the Jack Perry van thing, and you fucking tap out anyway. You still kick out.
Yeah. But yeah, slap across the face. Oh,
Yep.
it's just so. I mean, I know you got to do suspension of disbelief, but Tony Khan is just really, really hoping we just suspend the disbelief on a level of disbelief.
Yep. But everything's great.
So yeah, that's my that was my main issue with this pay-per-view. But the other thing, just an issue I have with AEW in general, they really do overdo that. I think like as Johnny said, some of these matches should have been on the 0 hour, just should have been on a regular episode of Dynamite or Collision. The Mercedes match definitely should have been on Collision. Unless they were trying to highlight Momo to like maybe when they be in the series, be part of the roster, then she should have been featured on Dynamite and working her way up to face Mercedes, as opposed to some stipulation based on another promotion where she can challenge any women for their championship, which doesn't make sense because it wasn't featured, highlighted, or promoted here. So there's no chance of her winning, even if she seems cool, unless she was in Ring of Honor. We missed it.
Yeah.
I mean, even then, Ring of Honor isn't seen as much as Dynamite or I guess even Collision because it's on regular television.
Yeah.
With Ring of Honor, you got to have Honor Club. So yeah, that was just a waste of space on the card where they could have put something else there or moved something like that to the 0 hour or just not have 13 doggone matches on this stupid show.
Yeah. But the other thing is, I don't know. That was another thing. If one of the other titles, because she's got like 10 titles on her now. If the one of the Japanese titles were on the line, at least that could have been a higher chance for Momo to win or something.
Yeah, that would have even made more sense to do the AEW one because we know Tony's not going to let it travel because he's too stupid and prideful to do that.
Yeah. Yeah.
No,
But
yeah, I
overall, I
forgot
did like the
about
whole
that.
show though. Like I said, the only match I didn't care much about was the Okada one. But I mean, I was
Yeah,
still kind of
Okada's
invested.
match. The Okada match, I didn't give a crap about. The Hurt Syndicate, kind of, sort of. 'Cause I do like the Outrunners. I like the Hurt Syndicate, but it still wasn't that. I mean, as it went on, it wasn't as. It was very predictable, in my opinion. That match was a very predictable match. The MJF Adam Page match, I thought that was actually not so bad. That
Yeah,
was kind of
because
okay.
Hangman's intensity.
Yeah, the intensity. Yeah, they worked off
Because it's
each other.
rare
Okay.
to see MJF go off against someone that's that intense. Because MJF does all the mind games and all the whatever, but Hangman's like, I ain't doing no games. I'm here to fuck you up. You
He
know what
has
I
no
mean?
mind. That's because he has no mind. It's lost. It's been gone for a good while now.
Yeah.
And that match was yeah, that match actually legitimately kind of actually liked. The other matches on the card I didn't care about. The Will Ospreay and Fletcher match, even going into it, I really didn't care about it like at all.
But his son, whatever, what, they couldn't feel his hand, bruv.
Anyway, like I said, I didn't care about this match at all. And then the way it was executed was even worse. So yeah, I hated that match. The match with the Swerve and Ricochet match, it was okay, but I was more interested in the backstory leading up to the match as opposed to the match itself. Because I can't stand Ricochet. So get out of here. Yeah, but overall, I just it was okay. It's a pay-per-view. And according to Tony Khan, it was one of the greatest revolutions ever.
Mhm.
One thing I did forget. In fact, one thing I forgot to mention though is that the pay per view may not have been like spectacular, but you have to realize you do have to notice that it's still way better. Just the fact that the freaking Young Bucks were not in it. Like you notice the difference right there about the Young Bucks. Like it's still way better than how it could have been if they were there in the pay per view.
Okay. Now for our scores. So for this one, we have a three-way tie.
Mm.
Because I gave no points for the Jericho match at all because like I said, it wasn't a match.
It was a mugging.
Yeah, it was a mugging, and muggings do not count as matches. Okay. And it's supposed to be a normal match. So you know what that mess was. Yeah, it was a Colero. It was a Colero match. So anyway.
Oh God, that is the thing. I'm sure we were there in person. Johnny and I would have been like, "Hola."
And of course I'd have to ask you, what is Colero? Because I didn't learn that in my Spanish class. They're not teaching us that word. Okay, so we have the three-way match with which would be Mark, DJF, and myself. We all had 10 points. Next would be another tie between Jack and no wait, no, I take that back. Panda would be next. No, wait, hold on. No. I'm sorry. A two-way tie for second place between Johnny and Jack, and then Panda is last. So we had 10 points. Johnny and Jack had 8, and Panda had 7.
Yeah.
So it was all pretty close.
Panda's punishment is you have to clean down the cage after the match of Ospreay and Fletcher.
Ooh.
Mm. But we'll make sure he has gloves and stuff so doesn't catch anything.
Well, it could be worse. It could be insane every place that Tony and Mariah went.
Wow, it's Tony, so he might want to do that. I don't know. Okay, so anyway. Okay, so anyways, guys, that's the end of this review here for what do you call it?
Revolution.
Yes, for AEW Revolution. This has been the Diamond Cutter, the Diamond Cutter Wrestling Podcast, America's current insomnia. So if you have trouble sleeping, if you have the shakes, if you're having anxiety and all kinds of symptoms because sleep deprivation, listen to the podcast. It'll knock you right out. Just remember not to listen to the podcast while you're operating heavy machinery or while you're driving.
Yeah. Okay.
All right. So this is Mark Rodriguez signing off.
And this is a disgusted Ninja Jupy. He also knows Jupy Chan and call me Wendy. Bye guys. I'm gonna turn it over to the one, the only, the man of the hour, the man with the power, the man with the sense, with the only sense here, because I don't know what's going on with this one. Johnny
Johnny
Rodriguez.
Rodriguez.
Yep. See you next time, guys. The next one is Dynasty, right?
Man, something.
Yeah, because we actually had a cool deal where we paid for like a
Yeah,
bundle with what's it called? Revolution and Dynasty. So it's kind of cool. So by the time Dynasty comes along, we don't have to worry about no $50. It's already been paid for in advance. So that's
but
kind
so
of
it's $50 for both events.
no, it's like 85 or something.
Oh,
But it's
okay.
still bundled because it would cost like 100 for both, right? So
Yeah,
this is
yeah,
cheaper
yeah,
and all that. So it's cool. You save money now, and then when the time comes, I don't have to spend money because it's already like paid for in advance. So that's pretty cool.
yeah. I
I
see if
wish
Tony's
the Bleacher
smart.
Report had bundles like that. That would have been cool.
Now, if Tony Khan was smart enough to do that, they should do that more often with the pay-per-views. I don't know if this is something new, but it's something they should do more often because it'll bring more people in.
The last one, I think.
I think so,
Yeah.
possibly. Yeah, but it is cool. I mean, I guess one of the advantages of working with the pay-per-view, the PPV.com and all that. But guys, see y'all next time.
Okay. Bye guys.
Peace.